It's been a while since we have reviewed a lawnmower from Powersmart, and they've got a new one out here. This is a 21-inch lawnmower, and it is 80 volts, all 80 volts going to a single blade. And it's comparable to the 26. I brought them all out here. That's the 26 over there that's using 80 volts to power two blades to get a 26-inch cut. Then I also brought out the 40 volt that is a 17-inch single blade. And they are saying in the advertisement that this one is going to be 2.5 times as powerful as the 40 volt over there. But it will also be more powerful, in my opinion, than the 26, because that 80 volt is powering two blades, and whereas on this one you have all 80 volts going to a single blade. And in addition to that, this is not self-propelled, so you're not going to have, say this one over here has a propulsion system that will also be taking part of the battery power, and this one, it's still the same thing, no propulsion, no second blade, so all 80 volts going straight to the blade. It should be really crazy strong. So anyway, let's take a look at the features. Okay, so it is a 3-in-1 mower, meaning that it will mulch and it will also side discharge. Basically, you got your mulching door here. When you have that closed and you have the bagger off, say for example you took the bagger off, then this flap would close, and of course that would be closed, so everything would be trapped under the deck and you'd be mulching. But to attach the side chute, you simply lift that up and hook the side chute into the clips there, and I'll install that in a second. And then you're discharging on the side chute. But if you want a bag, you lift up this flap and you install the bagger. And it hooks right onto those clips in there that I'm not showing. There we go. Down there somewhere. It's very bright right now and I'm not sure what I'm showing. But it's hooked into some clips, and then you are ready to bag, provided you have this door closed. Otherwise everything's going out the side. So otherwise we have adjusters. We have two adjuster knobs. Each one adjusts the entire axle, so if you pull this knob, it adjusts the front two tires up and down. You pull this one and it adjusts both rear up and down. And then of course, like I said, it is an 80 volt. Here's your 80 volt battery. Always make sure that you have the key in, otherwise it will not work. And wanted to mention that it is a steel deck. It's not a plastic deck. Actually, none of them really do have plastic decks. Even those two over there both have metal decks. They realize that even being electric, there's a lot of stuff going on under there. The deck needs to be made out of steel. Other than that, we'll look up here. Here is your safety arm. Basically, to start it, you press that button and then you hold the button down, then you pull that safety bar and that locks the button in place, and then you're mowing. And that is basically it. So I think what we need to do at this point is go back and show how it was boxed and unbox it and show all the individual parts as they come, and a basic setup and installation and assembly if there is any. But then after that we'll go mow with it. Okay, here is a look at the box it comes in. It is about a 70-pound box, 21-inch mower. And the first thing I want to do is take a look at these pictures on the side. You can see here, these are really big interest here in Florida. These are snow throwers. Of course, we can't use those. But this one here is a interesting thing that's coming up. I'll be reviewing it pretty soon. That is an 80 volt, I think about 2600 psi, battery operated pressure washer. Very interesting. Over here are a couple of the other electric lawn mowers. One is self-propelled, one is not. Maybe they both are, I can't remember. But here's a real interest. There's not anything on this on the website, and no explanation, and I haven't asked yet. but it sure appears to be a backpack blower. And it would be interesting if that's an 80 volt backpack blower. That'd be something, but I don't know. We'll see. Now, opening the box, first thing I want to mention is that when you're opening the box, if you're using a razor knife like this, and that's what I always do, is I just cut along the tape and open it right up. But for this particular one, you want to be really, really careful, or possibly not do that, because right at the top of the box, right under where you're going to be cutting, right there, is the bagger for the mower. And so either just rip the tape off or cut very shallow. Otherwise, I think that there's going to be a lot of people cutting the bags. And so just be careful. And so here's our first look at inside the box. This is how they come packed. Bagger on the top. All stuck. Okay. And here we go. Okay. So I think that the big box here is going to be probably the charger, and that one over there looks like the battery. And under the bubble wrap, we have the main unit itself. And that's a good looking unit. And I think I had spotted the instructions over there, user's manual and so on. So at this point, we will pull the whole thing out of the box and take a look at it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I just demonstrated the hardest way to get it out of the box, but oh, it's done. Anyway, the first thing I want to mention here, if you saw me setting up the handles, basically I just straightened up the handles and then you tighten down this big knob. But on this side, I've just gone to the trouble of switching it around. The knob was on the inside and I switched it around to the outside. Just take the whole thing off and turn it around. Because if you look here, if the knob is on the inside, and the square hole, by the way, the square hole for this carriage bolt is on the outside, and so it is meant to be assembled with the knob on the inside like this. But when you do that, if you can see here, your little hook on your bagger, when you go to put it into place here, see if I can show that. Basically, it's just always, that knob is always going to be getting in the way. See that? And it was actually, it can go through on this side, but it was actually really getting in the way on the other side. So I'm switching the knobs around, and we're going to have the knob on the outside and the flat carriage side of the bolt, or bumper bolts, on the inside, just to make that easier. Just mentioning that. Okay, so here's a look at what I was just talking about. You can see there now with that knob on the outside, the hook slides right in and goes into its place there with no trouble. There we go. And now the curiosity on this side would be, is it going to get in the way of this nope, doesn't get in the way of the I recommend everybody does that. Switch those knobs around. It does not get in the way of the lever for the height adjustment. Okay, so basically what we have here is it all put together. Let's take a look at the battery and the charger. Oh, and I heard you saying that. You were saying that you didn't stop it at the setting where it would be in the way of the knob, and so I just wanted to show quickly. Here it is stopped at the setting where it would be in the way of the knob, and it's not in the way of the knob. Okay, moving on. Okay, here is the battery and the charger. It's not rocket science. You basically, you see the prongs there, and you see the holes there. You line it up so that the holes line up with the prongs and so on. But this one the way it came shipped was actually, I had it showing, there we go, fully charged. So we're ready to go right out of the box. We just got to remember to take one of these keys. These are plastic keys, and it's just pushing on a safety on the inside here. Open the hood. You see this little slot right here. Stick the key in there, otherwise it will not run. Put the battery in there, same thing, slide it onto the prongs, and then you're good to go. So that wraps it up for the unboxing. There's the empty box showing that there's nothing else, and so on. Okay, back to it. Okay, we're out here on location. We've got a yard here that we're going to be able to demonstrate all three phases of it because it grows really thick. This is St. Augustine grass, and the challenge is going to be because St. Augustine is normally cut up pretty high, but I maintain this one down pretty low, which makes it difficult for the mower to, especially if we're going to be mulching, to mulch all this down to about a 1-inch level. As you can see, I'm really low there. That is where I maintain this yard, and so that will be the challenge. But I wanted to flip it over to show the blade and show exactly where the blade is riding. You can see there it is right about even with the bottom of the deck. Hopefully we can see that. And so your edge of the deck is your setting on where it's going to be cutting. Some blades are recessed a little bit, but it is just a standard blade, as you can see there, with a little bit of a wing on the back for a lift. And I don't know, just a quick look at under the deck. So that's where we'll start, is with some bagging right about over there. And I just want to point out quickly, as you can hear, listen. Yeah, somebody's mowing their grass over there and I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to be demonstrating a nice quiet electric mower, and just don't be fooled, that's not the sound it's making. Just wanted to clarify. Okay, so as you can see, I'm sure you guys are realizing that I have it down too low. That I need to go up 1 notch on each wheel, and I will for the rest of it, but that was the bagging test. Fortunately, we were bagging, and so it didn't have any resistance going straight into the bag. So let's see what we got. Yep, I was hoping so. The grass went into the bag. Okay, and that wraps it up for bagging, because we don't really bag too much here. We usually do a mulching or a side discharge, but just verifying that it does bag. Oh, the irony of a gas mower running poorly in the background as I'm trying to demonstrate an electric one. So as you can see, we have the side chute on. So you close the back door, open the side door, and latch the show you that. You can see what I'm looking at. Latch is right in there. You close that and it holds it down, and you are now mowing with the side chute. So I'll mow that, I'll demonstrate that from this angle, and we'll just go across the yard here. that's just regular height grass. I'm kind of saving this area over here, it's the really thick part, because I want to do the kind of a torture test with the mulching. Mulching is the hardest thing for a mower to do because it all gets trapped under the deck and stays there until it's turned into confetti or powder or something. And so it is really going to, when I go into that, I'm going to put it into mulching mode now, and I will stay in the shadow. I'll like film part of it out of the shadow and then stop the camera and film the rest in the shadow so that the camera adjusts properly, because we're having such a problem there. But it will very likely go straight into the high output mode and stay in high output mode the whole time I'm mulching. So that's going to be exciting. Let's do that right now. The joys of trying to film a review video in a neighborhood full of lawn care enthusiasts. So we got a blower going now in the background. Just want to reiterate, that is not this mower that's making that sound. But look what I did here. This is neat. I mowed right along the line of the shadow. Never done that before. And so what I'm going to do now is cross over into this area. This is the thickest of the thick. I only heard it go into high output mode a couple of times over here, but it will surely stay in there for this section. And I'll set up the camera up nice and high, and we're going to go for the whole thing here. See what it does. Okay, well, I am actually kind of surprised. That was the thickest part of the yard, and we were mulching. Look how nice and clean it mulches. Look at that. Really leaving a nice cut. Over here was the thickest area, and I left a little bit of it over here so that I can go through it with the handheld camera, so you can see what it's like to go through it from mower view. Let's do that now. Well, totally loving it. This is going to be one of my favorite mowers. It's unbelievably strong. It looks like this test is actually not enough of a test for it. So I may, before the end of this video, I think, well, you know what? I think we're going to call it here. We've demonstrated the 3 different modes. And at this point, we need to go find something harder. So next scene will be something harder. Okay, so we are about to go heading out to a field to mow field grass with this. But before we do that, I just want to mention, so I recharged the battery, and I want to mention something really important, something that I haven't done on any of these yet, and made the mistake. See where it says up? Yeah, and Powersmart is upside down, so I was looking at the Powersmart, and I was looking at that being up, upside right, and so basically I put the upside down. Now, if you like challenges, go ahead and do that. But let me tell you, if you put it in upside down, it's really hard to get it out because of this clip. So always watch for that up sign to be on the upside. But something else I wanted to mention that I haven't mentioned yet is that when you turn it on, and these stay on for just a short amount of time after you turn it off, it's got headlights. So you can mow early in the morning or maybe even at night. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show that, but just want to mention that they're there. So anyway, so let's take this out to the field. As you can see, I am not even going to try to bag. Wait till you see what we're going to be mowing. But we're going to be doing a side discharge, and we're going to try mulching with very high grass. See if we can challenge this. So let's go do that. Alrighty, so here we are out on location. Some of y'all might recognize this area from where I was testing some commercial mower blades on my Cub Cadet, and you can actually see where I left off. This was, I don't know, a month or 2 ago that I was out here mowing, and so this is the area that I had mowed, and it's growing back, and there's the area that I did not mow. And so what we do have here is an assortment of different heights to test this thing out properly, because it is very strong. So we have, you know, about 8-inch high right here. Over here we're closer to about a foot high. And then over there, 3 feet high. And so one way or the other, we will tank this thing. Somehow we are going to find out what happens when you bog it down. And well, we're not going to mow the whole thing, but we're going to do a battery test. At a certain point, what we're going to try to do is test on the side discharge and a test on the mulching. We are going to try to mulch this, parts of this, see what happens. And then after all that, we'll look at the battery level, and then we will just run it and run it and run it to see what it does on longevity. So first test I'm going to do is right where it is. I'm just going to go straight through at about 6 to 8 inches and see what happens. So that's not a problem at all, and I didn't think it would be, although it was kicking into high gear right off the bat, so that's a good sign that we have a chance at tanking it. It's cutting nice. And so what we're going to do now, we're going to go in the same basic area, just the next couple of strips right over there, and we're going to mulch to see what that does. And now to mulch, the only thing you do is pull up this flap, and you pull the chute off, and you are mulching, as long as you have that bag off so that this back door is closed. So let's mulch this section. Okay, so it's about the same as bagging actually, other than it's leaving this trail of grass because it's mulching. But really it didn't seem like very much more resistance than this side discharge. So what we're gonna do now, we'll go over here because this is about a foot tall and we've got stuff like old thatch in there and a real mess. And so we'll put the side discharge back on and give this a try. Well, so it was, there's no question it was having trouble, but look what it's mowing through. Look like it's trying to mow through. Like, for example, this is what we started with. You know, some grass in there, but mostly it's like hay, like horse feed. I mean, thick. And as much as it didn't do it well, it did do it, and it hasn't died yet. It's just crazy. But okay, we are not going to try to mulch that. I think that what we're gonna do, we will go into another section like over here. This is what we'll do. Well, over there, where are we gonna go? We're gonna go into probably this section over here with the mulch. So this is about 1.5 feet high, but it doesn't have all that thatch, and so we stand a chance. So we're gonna mulch this section at 1.5 feet to 2 feet. So I seriously did not expect that to work. My. So it was just, look at the difference here. Just shy of what we got over here. That's not the thickest of the thick. That's the thickest back there, and it looks like we're heading that way. But it did it. I mean, that was mulching. This is unbelievably strong. So I guess what we'll do now is we'll move it over just a little bit. This is a full 2 feet tall over here, and I'll set the camera up over here so that we can get a better grasp of what's happening. I think it's gonna do it. So let's do it. Yeah, so I was purposely not backing up through the sections that I just mowed so that people couldn't say, well, it's because you mowed it twice. But so this is the forward pass, and then I went away from it and then backed up elsewhere. So that's one pass from that to that, and I'm blown away. Boy, guys, 80-volt mowers are crazy strong, just crazy strong. It's a lot of, you know, they have more torque than gas mowers. It looks like we are actually, look at the difference here that we're about to go into. That is at least 3 feet. That might be 4 feet. I'll go stand next to it so that you can see. Okay, so at this point, I am not understanding how it's doing that. Hopefully nobody's thinking there's some way I could have faked that, because that is real. This stuff is dense. And it did it. And I filmed it, and I showed it. And it did not die. So I'm trying to figure out a way. My goal was to tank it to the point where it shuts off or does some kind of overheat protection or something. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I will figure it out. I must say, this is the most impressed I've ever been with a lawnmower. Now you can see I'm having trouble getting it through there because it's not self-propelled, so I'm having to muscle it, but you know you're not supposed to be. This is just for a demonstration. You're not supposed to be mowing that. It is actually pretty easy to push through regular height grass. It's no trouble at all. The wheels are proper size for that. Don't get the wrong idea. It's only going to be hard to push if you're trying to go through this. So at this point, you know what I want to do? I want to do a battery level test. So what I want to do is go to close up. There we are. Open up the hood and see if I can see the viewfinder, and where am I? Right there. Okay. So we're going to press that and see what all that used up on battery. I can't see. I don't know. I don't know what it's showing. Let me pull it out to get a better look. Okay, let's get a look here, because it's at like an angle. Where am I? There we go. And so I don't know if you can see that, but it is still showing 3 bars. Oh, I see, because it's pulsating with the frames on the camera. Okay, but we still, after all that, we have 3 bars. And so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to exhaust this battery today, but what I do want to do is push it to the limit where it stops. So how am I going to do that? I think what I'm going to have to do, because I can't push it forward quick enough to bog it down, so I'm going to drag it backwards through some thick stuff and see if we can get it to shut off. All right, yes, we finally did it. But you know, keep in mind what we're mowing through, and we're not even side discharging. This was all mulching. All that stuff over there, I didn't mention it, but hopefully you could have seen that, is that the mulching door has been closed this whole time. And so that's what it takes, dragging it through backwards at high speed through stuff that is that tall. Will finally kill it. And so at this point, you know, we got a lot of grass out here. I think that what I'm going to do is just time lapse some more mowing. I know we're still at probably about 3 bars. And even after doing all that, we'll see how much more mowing we can do. And that will, let's see if we can exhaust this battery. So we're just gonna do some regular mowing. Keep in mind, we're not mowing regular grass out here. This is all somewhere between 8 inches and a foot tall. So here we go. right, well, basically I'm gonna give up here. It wins, my goodness. So what I'll do now, yeah, you know what, so that was even after I mowed those areas over there with the crazy test over there. We still had enough battery to do all this, and it did not die, actually. I did. So we're gonna open this up. Oh, let's see here. And we are not even going to try to be able to see that. So we're gonna pull the clip. We're gonna pull it out. And we are going to press the button. There we go. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, yeah. That's actually the first time I've seen one of these down on one bar. But I did it. I basically almost killed it. I was close. A few more rows in it would have been the battery. But keep in mind, of course, like I was saying, this is not regular grass, so it was on high gear the whole time. I'm sure you heard it. And we were mowing through stuff like this. I'm still on close-up. There we go. And so, very, very hard to mow. As you can see here, this is what's left over. Briefly thought about doing that section over there. Decided not to, because this is Florida and this is a push mower. Anyway, here's a look at what it looks like when it's really, really dirty. It is the real deal, guys. This is a very, very strong mower. I recommend it very, very highly. So if you want to go get one, I got the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, so it's a 10% link for me. If you want one, go pick one up. I'm telling you, it will not disappoint. It's absolutely crazy. So that wraps it up for the video. There's gonna be some more Powersmart products coming up here soon. I'll try not to review too many because I know you guys get annoyed. And that's it. Sorry guys, I'm a little tired. But I appreciate y'all watching. Check out the link. Check it out on the website and Amazon, and pick one up if you want. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good one.